up, y'all? Welcome into the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. We're getting you ready for tonight's home game between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Dallas Mavericks. I'm Lang Whitaker. I'm here with John Roser, the voice, or one of the voices, of the Memphis Hustle. And tonight is Hustle Night here at FedEx Forum.
Are we on screen? Did you get it on? Yeah. We're good. Go Hustle.
He's got his hustle bucket hat. The Grizzlies taking on the Dallas Mavericks tonight. Mavericks come in having lost 4 in a row. Grizzlies coming in having lost 2 in a row. Although the road trip, the Grizzlies just had a 5-game road trip, went 2-3. I guess you could say it wasn't I mean, you would like to have won one of those last 2 games and come away positive on the road trip, but I think there were still some positives you could probably take away if you're the Grizzlies.
Yeah,
the win in Phoenix.
I mean, I've been covering this team for way longer than I'd like to admit. So I've seen them go 0-5 on West Coast road trips. So I'm not as upset about a 2-3 trip as others are. I will say, in those last 2, the Sacramento one is the one that's a little like you score 130 points and you got to win that game. You don't like losing when you score that many points. The Golden State game, it's second night of a back-to-back. It's a tough one. You're playing less than 24 hours later, too, because of the time of the game, too. So, I mean, I've seen them go, like I said, I've seen them go 0-5 on West Coast trips. So 2-3, I'm not really that upset.
Those last 2 losses, lost to the Warriors, 121-113, and then less than 24 hours later, you go to, it was actually flip-flop. You play Sacramento first, lose that one 138-133. Really high-scoring game. Give up 46 points in the first quarter to the Kings. The Kings team that had really struggled the first couple months of the season, coaching change, and now they've got energy and everything's better for them right at the moment. And then they go to Golden State against a team without Steph Curry, and you lose that one. Feels like tonight makes it a little bit more important that the Grizzlies come away with something against the Dallas team without Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic.
Yeah, on that Golden State game without Steph Curry, I think some of that, too, is like they caught fire from 3. Draymond Green was hitting threes, and he doesn't hit threes. Buddy Hield, who had been in a massive slump, he snapped out of his slump,
Andrew Wiggins in that third quarter.
Andrew Wiggins, they just got some guys, they got hot, and sometimes that happens. Anyway, to tonight's game, of like the all-star level players, Jaren Jackson Jr. is the only one going to be suiting up in this. As you said, no Luka and no Kyrie Irving. It's been almost 2 years since Kyrie Irving last played a game here at FedEx Forum, a game that the Grizzlies won in what was called the David Roddy game. Roddy, a big breakout game as a rookie. So, look, the star power isn't there as much, but the Grizzlies, they need to win just like Dallas needs to win. So it's probably going to be a really competitive game.
I would hope so. The Grizzlies have some important things that I think we can identify from that road trip, things that they should look for tonight. Number one is the turnovers. They were just killing the Grizzlies in those losses. I actually looked up today. The Grizzlies are second worst in the NBA in turnovers per game behind the Utah Jazz.
That's not great.
17.4 turnovers a game. The Jazz, 18.4. For what it's worth, you know what 3 teams have the best turnover per game?
That don't turn it, they turn it over the fewest. I would guess the Houston Rockets.
No.
The Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yep.
The Boston Celtics.
Yep.
And then the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yes. The 3 best teams in the league.
The 3 best teams.
So I think the Grizzlies are still they're the only team in the league, top 5 offense and defensive rating. So they're still a good team, but for some reason they're not able, they've been having trouble with turnovers. And I think that's something we'll see them hopefully try to look at tonight.
Look, it's been a thing, like you said, though. It's been a thing all year. So for me, it's like, it feels like they're going to turn the ball over. They're just going to. At this point, it's kind of like, that's kind of what they do.
Partly part of this offense, probably, too.
Right, of how fast everything moves. So I think what the Grizzlies have to do is they have to force turnovers on the other side, and they have to get points off of those turnovers, knowing that, well, we're probably going to turn the ball over a lot. So we need to make them turn the ball over a lot so that evens out.
3-point shooting, like we said, was killing the Grizzlies against Sacramento and Golden State. Both teams were knocking down threes at a really high rate. Both teams shot over 45%. Kings 45%. Shot 54% on threes against the Grizzlies.
Man,
just through the roof. We have a clip here of Brandon Clarke after the game, and I think it's the Kings game, talking about their troubles guarding the 3-point shot.
I've had to navigate a lot of guys being in and out, on this road trip. But overall, like, what are some of the things you take away from this road trip that need to be corrected when you guys get back?
I think that we gave the effort think we just, both teams these past 2 nights shot the ball really well. We got to find a way to cool them off earlier, I think, have better starts. I think both teams these past couple of days have shot the ball really, really well versus us.
Turnovers have been something you guys have been trying to address and deal with, but not necessarily having traditional point guard, and obviously with Ja out. How do you guys overcome that?
And just finding ways to play our style of ball, really. Whether it's making the right plays, making the right passes, trying to force it. I think we just kind of got to just watch the film together and figure out what is working and what's not.
As one of the leaders on the team, your leadership voice does resonate with these guys. What is the message as you guys try to get back home and get back on track?
Yeah, it's a very long season. Just finding bright spots in the road trip, even if it was tougher. Just looking forward to the future games too. Yeah.
So point of emphasis for the Grizzlies tonight, take care of the ball.
Yeah.
Get out on three-point shooters. Seems like kind of simple things, right?
Sometimes basketball is really simple than that. It's like, hey, don't turn the ball over, force turnovers on the other side, defend the three-point line, and make threes. That's kind of how the NBA works now.
And especially this Dallas team tonight is going to junk it up probably because they're without their 2 best players. It's hustle night tonight. I got the hustle shirt. Rosa has the bucket hat. John's a color commentator for the hustle this year.
I am.
I actually saw the voting, the All-Star voting today for the G.
The next up game, yeah.
The hustle's dominating the All-Star voting so far this year.
We can probably thank Japan for that. I think that's probably got a lot to do with it. Yuki Kawamura, Armando Bacot, Colin Castleton, and then Cam Spencer down sitting there at 7th. So
and Mal Pereira's at number 9.
Yeah, Mal Pereira sitting there
half of the top 10.
9. Yeah, and Amani Bates, who was at the University of Memphis for a little bit.
True,
so he's been in Memphis for a little bit himself too. I think Japan's got a lot to do with this. I voted for all of our players.
Yes, you did.
It's cool to see. It's cool to see. I covered the next up game and when the All-Star Weekend was in Salt Lake City a couple years ago, and Kenny Lofton Jr. at the time, he was there and he won G League Rookie of the Year. Got to interview him after the game. So it's an honor for these guys, and I hope they all get to make it.
We hear a lot about Yuki. We've seen Castleton and we've seen Cam Spencer play. Who is the next man up, do you think, from that hustle team to have a shot at the next level?
That's not two-ways, not the two-way guys?
Yeah, the next kind of guy to get a chance.
The two-way guys, I love Cam Spencer.
Yeah.
I think even Saturday night's game against Golden State, Cam's not afraid.
No.
Like, he does not fear the moment. That was a great moment.
And he was guarding his brother, too. Yeah,
it's a great moment, by the way. But he's not afraid. He's not. I'm intrigued by Armando Bacot.
Yeah.
I mean, great in North Carolina. He's an All-American. If he can develop that three-point shot, because the form doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
So it's just about the consistency and the reps. That guy, man, he can rebound the ball.
So, injury update going into tonight. I just got a tweet a second ago. Desmond Bane is out for tonight. Taylor Jenkins said before the game he's pretty much day-to-day. So, count him out. But Luke Kennard had an MRI today, and Taylor Jenkins said it came back clean. So, Luke's playing tonight. Yuki is also available tonight for the Grizzlies. So, last-minute update, Desmond Bane out. Joins Santi, Gigi, Ja, Marcus, Vince. And Taylor also did just say Ja looks like he's going to get back pretty soon. It's on the shorter end rather than the longer end, which makes me think maybe in the next week.
That makes me think next week, too. Yeah. I saw another tweet from Jeff Stott, who does in street clothes on X, and he kind of said the last time this happened, and it was minor like Ja's. Yeah. It was about 4.5 games, so it basically puts on line for next week. So
all right.
Let's hope so.
All right. Well, hey, we got a game coming up here in 50 minutes, but we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Jessica Benson's going to join us. You're watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.
Dusty May was at Florida Atlantic last year. Tonight you'll watch him coach at Michigan. So why do I care if a football player decides to leave one place where he's making whatever money to go somewhere where he's making even more? It's what most coaches do every year. So I cannot stand it, and I mean can't stand it, when the coaches sit up there and act like these young people are doing something wrong.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Somebody who really has done what they were supposed to do, or maybe wasn't expected to do, is Jalen Wells, the Western Conference Rookie of the Month.
What you're seeing right now is him showing that, hey, no matter where I was going to go in the draft, I was going to be ready.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I can't wait to see what your number one. If that's your number two.
Number one for me.
Come on, man.
I listen to the Bells, Luther Vandross. I love Luther Vandross's Christmas album.
I gotta go back and listen to that one, man. I'm sure I've heard it.
To the Bells and they made me remember.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
When's the last time you guys played a little one-on-one?
It was, I don't even know, like, maybe last summer, and there's some footage out there that doesn't want to be released. Like, he claims he took it easy on me, but I always beat him.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. We're 48 minutes from tip-off between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Dallas Mavericks. Two teams looking for a win. Both teams coming off different size losing streaks. But I'm joined right now by Jessica Benson. And as we always do at this time, we talk about the main character.
Main character.
Jessica gives us her pick for tonight's main character. Who are you focused on for tonight's game?
Well, you talk about two teams with losing streaks.
Yep.
The Mavs, 4-game losing streak, have lost 5 of their last 6. The Grizzlies go 2-3 on their road trip, but both are shorthanded. No Luka and Kyrie for Dallas. No Ja, presumably no Desmond Bain either. Officially no Desmond Bain for the Grizzlies. So I'm going to say it's a Jaren Jackson Jr. game. Coming back to the home court, and Jaren has led this team in scoring. 22 points to lead the Grizzlies, but it'll be exciting to see how he matches up against the bigs that Dallas has. Gafford, Lively, how he and Edey work in tandem in that front court action, along with Brandon Clarke, of course. But Jaren Jackson Jr. has been the constant for this group, and as they come home trying to get back on the right side of things, especially against a Western Conference opponent, you have to take advantage of a down-manned Western Conference opponent, and Jaren will be a big part if they're able to.
I also wonder if, like, we're all talking about all these, we haven't mentioned we're 15 minutes into the show, Klay Thompson, being a guy who, we've all seen it. Every once in a while, he catches fire and gets going. Like, that's a guy who can carry you if he's having one of those nights.
Well, and coming off of the last 2 games for the Grizzlies, but also the three-point defense and allowing 43s between the Kings and the Warriors. You have someone like a Klay Thompson. Jaden Harvey's been big for this Mavs group, has gotten more minutes with Luka and Kyrie out. He's had efficient games from the three-point line. We've seen what this Mavs team is capable of doing. They were solid, not a killer three-point night when the Grizzlies lost to them in Dallas last year, because it's now 2025. But still, that'll be something that has to be tightened up.
Speaking of last year, we both took little trips over the break. We had a week off. You went to New York. What was the best Broadway show?
That's like asking me to pick a child. They were so different. I saw Sunset Boulevard, Death Becomes Her, and Gypsy, and I would recommend all 3. Okay. Truly, all 3.
Which one most deserves the Tony?
2 are up for will be up for Best Revival. 1 will be up for Best New Musical. So they're all different categories. But I would say Sunset Boulevard will win Best Revival, but Audra McDonald in Gypsy will win Best Actress.
Okay.
That's my January, whatever date it is, prediction.
I'll write it down.
Yes, I'm sorry. How could I forget?
Yeah, it's a big day. All right, we're going to take a break. Pete Pranik is going to join us. It is. Pete Pranik is going to join us in a second. We're going to watch this quick clip about All-Star voting, and then Pete's going to be here right after this.
No matter the distance, we stay persistent. 'Cause that's just who we are.
Hello. 3. What a shot. Bain. Irving. Blocked by Morant. Oh, what a block by Jerry. That's insane, Bain. Morant makes his move. Spins in the paint. Turns. Puts it up. Puts it in. John Morant knocks it down. Step back 3. Banga. Powers it in. Ball fake. Oh!
Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. I'm Lang Whitaker, joined by the voice of the Grizzlies, Pete Franica. And I'm wearing this shirt for a reason. I'll get to that in a second. I'm holding it up. It's Pete's shirt. I'm holding it up here for a reason. We'll get to that. First, Pete, we were talking with Jessica about playing this Dallas team tonight. Both teams are down a few players. We saw the Grizzlies struggle with three-point defense and turnovers, those last couple games particularly. Give me one player on Dallas that makes you a little nervous tonight, that you got an eye on.
Quentin Grimes.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, Quentin Grimes comes over from the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
Wasn't getting a lot of time, but now without Kyrie Irving, without Luka Doncic, the last 16 games, he has been absolutely on fire and distributing and shooting the basketball.
Yeah.
So he's the guy that I am most worried about.
That's interesting. I came up with Klay Thompson just because our three-point defense has not been great the last few games. And Jessica mentioned the bigs, like because Jaren presumably is going to have a big game for us tonight. So Lively and Gafford, like are two guys who could give us trouble tonight. All right, I'm wearing this Notre Dame shirt because Notre Dame, the fine university, beat the University of Georgia in the Sugar Bowl last week. I went to Georgia. Pete went to Notre Dame. Here's your graphic. He went to Notre Dame, and y'all got an awesome win out of that. So I just wanted to have you on here to say congratulations.
Thank you.
And as I told you on text, I was really impressed with Marcus Freeman and everything Notre Dame did in that game. And how are you feeling going now to play Penn State next week?
I think it's a 50-50 game, really, and old-style football. Both teams are going to want to keep it on the ground, and so I think that it's probably going to be another closely contested game between two, I was going to say great franchises, great programs, of course, that haven't played in quite a while.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be really, really cool. I'm very happy to see Marcus Freeman and what he's done with the program. Had a chance to visit with Marcus a couple of years ago after he took the job, and he was recruiting, and he was actually meeting with Mike Vrabel in Nashville to find out what it's like to be a head coach. And I said at the time, if he is as good a head coach as he is a person, Notre Dame's in great shape. And right now it looks like he's a great guy and a great coach, because he is, after that Northern Illinois loss, he really got them back, and every game basically was an elimination game for the college football playoff, and he got him in.
I like that they kind of just figured out how to win the game against Georgia. They hung around. They weren't able to run the ball other than Riley Leonard. They didn't really pass. I think finished with 90 passing yards.
Right.
They didn't really have a lot of offense, but they just stayed in the game, and they just kept plugging away and held on to that lead. And for a Georgia team that came from behind, I think in 7 different games this season, Notre Dame just looked like the team that had been there before, and they really haven't.
Exactly. And what you saw, I thought, in the Sugar Bowl was complementary football.
Yeah.
It was all 3 phases that Notre Dame excelled in the kicking game. And I was tracking it on the plane, and it goes from 3-3 to 13-3. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, well, not good things happen for Georgia. That's what happened. All right, so Wednesday, that game is Thursday night?
Thursday night.
Yeah.
We'll be kind of busy.
I know. Darnell Brady, who we work with, is going to Miami. He went to Penn State.
Ah, okay.
So maybe we'll have to figure out some way for you guys to commemorate this occasion.
Well, of course, Tom Hewitt, who directs our
Tom,
telecast, also a Penn State guy. So we'll see.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on here, and congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a good win. Don't tell anybody. I'm pulling for you guys.
Okay.
The rest of the way, because you beat us. So, all right. We're watching the warm-up show. When we come right back, John Rosa is going to join us again. We got about 10 minutes before we kick it to you guys on FanDuel Sports Network and over on ESPN 92.9 for the pregame show. You're watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.
There was a tweet from NBA G League that Cam Spencer was, quote, unconscious. Cam Spencer had 51 points on 75% shooting. The Grizzlies front office ability to find talent late in the draft continues to be a massive, massive positive for this team.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
How about them
How
Tigers?
about
Go
the
Tigers. Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Look at that. We got the whole Grizzlies team just infiltrated our studio. Santi Aldama's in the house. Look at everybody. The whole Grizzlies team. Look at Zach Edey's in the house. John Morant's in the house. Say hello. Say hello. Yo.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
ESPN put out a list. Top 30 best pro wrestlers under 30 in the world today. Number 1, Dirty Dom. Number 2, MJF.
I think Dom is deserving to be number 1. I think he is probably, like I said, one of the greatest heels in the last 10, 15 years. Like you said, he can't talk on the microphone.
The fans love it because they feel like they're a part of the show.
And that's the best.
Without their booze, he's not the best heel.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. I'm joined now by John Roser, and there's some breaking news happening. We talked about the Grizzlies and maybe getting John Morant back soon, and he's shooting behind us right now. You can see him over my shoulder.
Yeah.
On the broadcast shot.
If he was a real warm-up show fan, he would get right over here like
He's
James
coming.
Harden did.
He's coming.
I remember James Harden. James Harden was like right on you and Mike.
Luke Kennard was just right behind me a second ago, too. If Jock comes over here, I'm going to have to contest.
Kennard and G.G. Jackson were very excited to meet Roll Tide Willie.
I heard, yeah.
Very excited to meet
Willie
him.
at the game today. We also have breaking news from the Hustle world. It is Hustle night. John told me like there's something happening.
It literally happened like 5 to 10 minutes ago. The Hustle have made a trade with the Maine Celtics, the Boston Celtics affiliate, obviously. Hustle are getting DJ Stewart. He played for the Windy City Bulls this year, 16 games, averaged 20 points per game, 7.5 assists, 39.8% from 3.
All right,
so
let's get him in.
With the way the two-way guys are having to be up here because of the Grizzlies injuries, makes sense. Hustle need to get another guard.
All right, like we always do at this time, we go around the NBA and talk about big stories that are happening. And if you've been on Twitter the last 24, 48 hours, 72 hours, all weekend there's been this talk about what happens if Jimmy Butler gets traded to the Grizzlies, because Jimmy Butler has been the center of a lot of trade talk around the NBA. I'm just going to ask you this. This is all alleged rumors, all this stuff, and we don't know who would be in trades or not in trades. If you had a chance to get Jimmy Butler, would you want him on your team?
Yes. I've come around on this. At first, I was like, man, it feels like every place that he goes, it just ends poorly.
Yeah.
But, like, man, they win while he's there.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Man, like, they win. And I just saw this. Jimmy Butler just followed the Grizzlies. Allegedly. On the gram. Now, Jimmy Butler also, every team that was rumored to be trading for him, he started changing his hair to their color. So, like, who knows what any of this means?
I haven't seen
Jimmy
the Beale
Butler.
Street hair yet.
Right.
So, who knows?
Right. So
it just seems like there's something happening with him, and who knows what's in the mix.
Yeah,
there.
definitely. I'd love to. Now, there's a price. Like, obviously, there's a price I wouldn't pay for Jimmy Butler. So, but if you told me, I think, this is why you keep your draft picks and why you stockpile young talent is
on affordable contracts.
Yeah, right.
Anthony Edwards this weekend had a big game, 51-point game for the Timberwolves and a loss. But he was also this weekend asked about playing and getting double teamed, and he said, "I don't like getting double teamed. I like getting my buckets. Like, who would like this?" Do you have any issue with this? Like, are you cool with him? Like,
I didn't mind it. I thought it was like refreshing honesty. Like he's always been a scorer. I think he's admitting it. Like I want to score. I'm used to being a scorer. But he knows. I mean, I think he also knows the evolution of his game. You have to. People are going to double you, and you have to learn how to pass and make the right read and make the right play out of that. And then there's going to come a time where he knows when to get the ball back and when to get the ball in his spots. One thing that Anthony Edwards does a little too much, and he shoots amazing percentages, so it works for him. Dances too much with the ball. And that's going to be the next evolution. When you do make that pass out of the double team, then where do you get that ball back and make the one move to go up for the shot or the one move that gets you to the basket? Like, rather than just, I'm going to cross, dribble, then shoot.
Also, that Timberwolves team has struggled this year, and if you can get the ball out of his hands, you're going to try to get the ball out of his hands. So you're seeing teams run double teams at him and try to get him to give it up. And now you know he doesn't want to give it up. So, I mean, and the Pistons let him play straight up. He scored 53 points, and they beat him.
And they beat him.
They beat him by 10. So.
And it's also tough for them when Karl Anthony Towns literally is an all-NBA player this year. Like, he's been amazing.
Well, the Knicks use him. I don't know. When the trade happened, I was on record. I was like, I don't think this is a good trade for really the Timberwolves. For the Knicks, I guess we'll see the Knicks, just chemistry-wise.
Right.
They've been okay.
They're starting to get it together. Yeah, they're starting to get it going.
But the Timberwolves, they lost
to OKC, but everybody's losing to them right now.
Everybody loses to OKC, yeah. But the Timberwolves, it was also about money.
Yeah.
When they made the trade.
Yeah.
We have a rosebud.
A rosebud?
A rosebud. Derrick Rose. The Bulls announced they're going to retire his number next season. They had Derrick Rose night the other night. So it was like a night to celebrate him. All the former Bulls were there. So Tibbs was there, but Joakim Noah was there, Luol Deng, all those guys. And now they announced number 1 will never be worn again by the Chicago Bulls. You watched him play in college. You got to see him play here last season with the Grizzlies. What's your favorite Derrick Rose memory?
Oh, man, my favorite Derrick Rose memory? I mean, that just the entire Memphis Final Four run, he was, I mean,
electric.
It was electric how amazing he was. His regular season was not, with the University of Memphis, was not like some spectacular thing. But that NCAA tournament run was, oh, okay, here's the number 1 pick in the draft right here. Man, honestly, I'm not kidding you. I think it's weird because I remember Media Day with him last year.
Yep.
And I was talking, I may have been talking to Scott Zachary. Yeah. And Derrick just like chimed in on our conversation. And I was taken aback by it. But he just talks to you. You're a normal person. He's a normal person. And like,
his growth.
He doesn't act like he's Derrick Rose.
Well, his growth has just been incredible from when he was in Memphis, when he was in high school. Like, we all saw him, covered him in Slam. And now to see him, like that last season on Media Day, like he wouldn't stop talking.
Yeah.
He was just talking and talking. They're doing a play group behind us with Ja and Cam Spencer. Are both doing the play group together.
This is fun fact. This is Cam Spencer's 10th time working out since 4 o'clock. I don't know, but
that's about
it
right.
Might be. Derrick Rose, the Dragic, the dunk, the Dragic dunk. That's the one. Like the 2 hands, like that is. That's ridiculous. Also, Joe Murphy put up a little collage of pictures that he took of Derrick Rose over the course of his career in Chicago and various other places. But the very first one he posted that's on that Instagram reel, I commented on it. I just talked to Joe about it. I said, I have that picture framed and autographed. And he's like, really? I was like, yep. It's from his MVP season.
You got to get Joe to autograph it now, too.
He'll get autographed the glass.
All right, we're a minute away from getting you over to the pregame show. I asked Pete for his player to watch tonight. He said Quentin Grimes. It's interesting. He said he hadn't been playing a lot because Luka and Kyrie play so much, but he'll probably get some minutes tonight with
Quentin Grimes.
So we're going to get you guys out of here and over to the other warm-up shows. You can tune in on FanDuel Sports Network right now for Fish, Verno, Brevin, and Pete. You can turn over to ESPN 92.9 for Jess, Eric, Elliot, Bennett. And you can come back here on Thursday night, January 9th, when we play the Houston Rockets. We'll be with you at 6 o'clock before that game. So we appreciate you tuning in on Grind City Media. He's John Roser. I'm Lang Whitaker. And you've been watching the warm-up show on Grind City Media. See you guys later.